Hi. I'll tell you why I'm late in a minute. Let me fix this. Uh, kind of annoyed. Start in just a minute. Coffee. 3, 2, 1. Good morning, everybody, and welcome. Today is Thursday, March 26, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and this is my first cup of coffee. This isn't even the right mug. Man, I am just over that allows us, hello everyone, that allows us to do some pretty cool things. But in order to do it, I need my laptop and I need webcams. But at the last minute, YouTube's like, no, you can't do that. And I tried yesterday too. Of course, I tried early and really thought, I was like, oh, I just need to do this one quick thing. And thought that like 4 times. And so that's why I'm 5 minutes late. So my bad. I'm going to work on it after this, see if I can get it to work. So if you see a second round of live happening, that's why. I'm just going to do real quick and see if I can make that work. Why do we do this? We did this because this is how we're going to try and run Martial Arts Radio Live, which will happen in just under 2 weeks now. Really excited for the software. It lets us do some really cool things like bring in images and video and really have a lot of interesting stuff going with the stream that otherwise you get this, and there's only so much you can do with this. Now, am I really going to use this for First Cup? Probably not, but I thought First Cup was a great chance to try it out and learn more about it because I'm really open and honest with all of you. And if I screw something up, like showing up 5 minutes late, people don't get real mad about it. Today's mug is my dog. That's Nugget. That's my dog. She's been gone a long time, but she's still my dog. Well, yesterday was insanity. Starting to see some of the effects of, let me bring this closer. Starting to see some of the effects of what's going on with my life. We haven't had much happen that's really impacted my life, but I've got one client who has stepped back, and so in a couple weeks when their month ends, I will lose that income moving forward. I've got another client who wants to talk about it because they think that's the right move, and they do want my feedback, and it might be the right move for them, which is a bummer. I'm very fortunate that I've been saving cash as much as possible, paying the minimums on things. There are people out there way worse off. And my heart goes out to them. It sucks. But you do what you can with what you have where you're at. It's all we can ever do. So what did I do yesterday? Yesterday, recorded an episode for next Thursday. Realized I have like 5 or 6 episode intros and outros to record. I really need to get on that. I feel like I just did 5 of those. We've got a lot of episodes in the buffer, which is awesome. I recorded my demo piece for what will become episode 500. Some of you know what's going on with that. We're not ready to announce that publicly yet, but it'll happen soon. We're doing something very different this year. What else? Email. Worked on books. did my first ever coaching of a class via computer. It's really hard. Those of you that have been doing classes multiple times per week, live classes, trying to correct people and work with their form, great job, because it's hard. The number one thing I learned, use people's names as much as possible, because if you're not there to observe and have that engagement, saying their name, it's the best thing you can do virtually. So did that, went into the gym because my internet here has been acting really weird. I got to call Comcast. I'm sure they're going to be really receptive to working on that during a pandemic, because, Comcast, they don't like to work on things anyway. But after I coached that class at the gym, I stuck around, had a workout, and I was really needed. It's been, how long has it been since it's been a solid week since I had a proper workout, and I was really anxious. I get anxious if I don't get to move enough. I've been trying to walk more. It's not hard to be 6 feet away from people when you live in the woods. So, yeah, that was yesterday. What's today? Everybody's everything has gone virtual, which means I'm not spending time in the car traveling. Got a few meetings. Here's something I'm going to say. I've got this one client who I'm probably going to fire because they have been a terrible client. And 3 weeks ago reached out, wanted a meeting so we could talk about the next steps on the project that they didn't fully pay for, so I didn't finish. Shocker. And then here it was, less than 24 hours away from this meeting that we had scheduled in person at a coffee shop that is closed. And I emailed and I said, hey, so obviously we can't meet in person, but happy to meet virtually. And they write back, oh yeah, I can't do that time now. Things are crazy. Can we do later in the day? No, we scheduled this weeks ago. I can do next week. I'm not moving things around for you. And then apparently they don't want to meet next week. So they moved things around, and they were able to get within a half hour of our original time. Sure, whatever. You get nothing from me until you pay. It might sound like I'm being cold, but this client was introduced to me by another client. That client is owed $6,000 from 2 years ago. Nope. Clearly this person does not do well with money. What else? What else is going on today? Initial feedback on the strength and conditioning program, the whistlekick strength and conditioning program, has been overwhelmingly positive. I gotta say, more positive than I had expected. I think we did a really good job with this. So there's kind of the alpha group. There were 3 people that I worked really closely with on it, and 2 of them got me their feedback, made those changes, put it out to a wider group yesterday, the beta group, and a little bit of feedback has come in on that, and that's been over the top positive. Hoping for more of that today, and maybe launch it as soon as today. All the pieces are in place. All the videos are done. The product pages are created. Everything that needs to happen has happened. I just need to put it up so people can buy it. And I'm thinking we'll do some crazy 4-hour flash sale to launch it. And I mean, it's going to be inexpensive. It's going to be the least expensive quality program I've ever seen. I'm used to seeing these programs for at least $50. Most of them are $100 plus, and we're going to be under $50 for a regular price. And my plan as we move forward with this is to just add more to it. And that will increase the value and will slowly increase the price. And anybody who's already bought in at the lower price gets to download the new version for free. So we'll increase the value, and hopefully that gets people incentivized and keeps them using it and keeps them talking about it. We'll see. And based on how this goes, will tell me whether or not I work on more programs like this. There's a speed program that I've got the outline for in my head. What's the other one? There's a flexibility program that I haven't worked on as much in my head. The speed program is unlike anything I've seen out there, so that's probably going to be the next one. Yeah, those are the only three. All right, let's do the questions thing. Where's my tablet? It's in the other room. But guess what? We got a computer here, so I will fire this thing up. And we'll see what questions and comments y'all left for me. All right, we got questions today from Gabe and from Frank. Thank you, both of you. Nourishment is not just nutrition, it's in quotes. Nourishment is the nutrients in the food, the taste, the aroma, the ambiance of the room, the conversation at the table, the love and inspiration of the cooking, and the joy of the entire eating experience. Marc David. Yes. Yes. When we talk about food, we tend to hone in on one aspect of it and not consider the entire experience, the entire ways it benefits us. If we only ate the healthiest things, none of us would ever go out to eat. One of the sayings that has helped me change the way I look at food is everything in my home is healthier than anything outside of my home. And I don't mean the grocery store, I mean restaurants. It is really hard for me to put together a meal that's going to be better than anything I'm going to get at any restaurant. Sit-down restaurant, even a fast food restaurant. Even if with the exception of maybe some of the local sandwich shops, right, that aren't going to use much in the way of we'll say unhealthy ingredients. You know, how much mayonnaise are they putting on there? How much cheese is going on there? Not that mayonnaise and cheese are bad, but do I need 400 calories of mayonnaise on my sandwich? No. If I make a sandwich, I'm not putting that much on it, right? So it's been that transition that has gotten me to be much better about making food here and honestly enjoying it. So last night, here's a great example. Last night I got home from coaching and from working out. I walked in the door at 8 o'clock. I was tired. I had a beer. And I could have just sat on the couch and watched TV and gone to the pantry and grabbed, some crackers and peanut butter, and that could have been dinner. It's been dinner before. But I said, I was really thinking about tacos earlier, and I want to make tacos. And this is where I'm really happy I have a small TV in the kitchen, because I got to have an experience cooking dinner for myself that I really enjoyed. I cooked up some fish and made a bucket of guacamole, 4 avocados, tons of guac. Chopped up some onions and some cheese and used some leftover vegetables and had 4 utterly amazing tacos. It was great. I enjoyed the cooking. I enjoyed the eating. I considered the entire experience of the food. And when I was done, I felt good, not just from eating the food, but because of the way I approached it. And I think that a lot of us miss that piece. I think when we make food, we rush it. And yeah, obviously there are times when life's busy and you got to get through stuff quickly. This is why I think I've talked about the way I meal prep. But when I have the chance to make a meal and enjoy the whole thing, I do. And it doesn't mean I don't go out to eat. I do, not right now. But it doesn't mean that when I go out to a restaurant with someone or even solo, because I go to restaurants by myself, that I don't enjoy that whole experience. I love when people cook for me, even if it's not in a restaurant. So. You can trace every sickness, every disease, and every ailment to a mineral deficiency. Linus Pauling. I mostly agree. You can trace everything to some sort of deficiency. Might not be mineral deficiency. I don't quite believe that. Because there are, the way stress impacts your body. And no, I guess you could look at it that way. I guess you could look at it as a mineral deficiency, but what becomes challenging is you don't know what minerals you're deficient in at that moment because of the way the body is using them, because when you're stressed, your body's going to operate a little bit differently, etc. There's always some sort of deficiency going on, right? I mean, it happens. I mean, we're very rarely completely in balance. Like right now, so many of us are staying at home quite a bit. That's not in balance. But I bet a lot of you have a cleaner home and the laundry's done and you're spending more time with your family and enjoying most of that. So part of your life is in better balance. We're never going to be perfectly in balance. It just won't happen. We're trying to get there. It doesn't mean we don't keep trying to get there. How about training? How about training at home right now? Many of us have said, I don't have the time. I don't have the motivation. Well, you're home. A lot of us are home right now. A lot of us have plenty of time. Some of you are doing a lot of training at home. Awesome. What about the other side of it? Class training. Training with other people. That part's out of balance. Balance is a goal, not something you actually have. Complete balance. You strive for it. But you never get there. Just like perfection. A healthy attitude is contagious, but don't wait to catch it from others. Be a carrier. Tom Stoppard. I've been working really hard on this. I've been working a lot on word choice and the way I talk about myself and to myself. And realizing that words matter. When we make self-deprecating comments, even if no one else hears them, we hear them. And that has an impact. And I'm at a point now where I catch people saying it and I stop them and say, no, be nice to yourself. Oh, because I'm too dumb to pull that off. No, you're not. Stop being mean to yourself. Don't talk about and to yourself the way you would never talk to other people. It comes across as humbling, but it's not beneficial. It's not good for you. Stop saying it. I would encourage all of you to consider that. And maybe talk to the people around you and say, hey, I think I'm doing this a lot. When you hear me do it, can you catch me on it? Say, hey, stop. Stop treating yourself poorly. Use positive words. Instead of saying, I'm too dumb to pull that off, say, this is going to be really challenging, but I'm going to try. Right? It's a completely different experience when you change that word. And we got one more. Do you eat much soy? What's your view on its dietary role? I don't. I used to. Soy is high in protein. Soy is kind of the king of the fake meat world. When I first went vegetarian, and actually even further back, I dated and lived with someone who was a vegetarian. And so we were buying veggie burgers and veggie things that looked like chicken and all this stuff, and it was all soy protein. And it tasted good. But as I came to learn more about soy, I pulled soy out of the diet because the majority of soy in the United States, anyway, is genetically modified. We could have a whole argument about whether or not that's okay. To me, it's not. But if nothing else, soy has estrogenic effects in the body. To say it another way, soy will increase the estrogen in your body. Where's the whistle pause? I don't know what you mean. I don't need any more estrogen. If a woman's body and hormones are in balance, she doesn't need any more estrogen. And this is a big deal. There are people who are really far off hormonally because of their consumption of soy. So it's something you got to be careful with. Am I going to turn down a veggie burger at a restaurant once in a while because it's got some soy in it? No. It's just not something I bring into my home. That's one of the major things that I do with my home. My home is a refuge. I try to keep it positive. I try to keep the food here really healthy so that when I go out into the world where I have far less control, I don't have to be as militant about it. I don't have to go to that restaurant and say, I bet they're frying these fries in some kind of, really low grade vegetable oil. I wouldn't do that at home. But for, to go out and know that, yeah, my body's going to react to that, okay, I can handle that. I don't go out to eat all the time, so I can handle that, right? And I think that's part of balance, right? I'm not going to say I'll never go out to eat, but I'm going to do it sparingly, knowing that there are consequences. Part of balance is recognizing that, let's take it back to that first quote, nourishment is not just the nutrition, it's that whole experience. It's the food, it's the people, it's the love put into it. We've got to be aware of everything that's going on, all of the inputs, and not just for food. What about your martial arts training? Your instructor, maybe you're the instructor, so you know this, whether or not they have some crazy curriculum they plan out or they wing it, there's still love going into that. They're still doing it in a way that feels balanced to them. They're still doing their best. Whether or not they're a great instructor or a terrible instructor, they're probably still doing their best. And so we find balance within our body, outside of our body, in our home, in our friendships, in our relationships. We try to look at where we bring things to balance. So my version of balance means I might have a little bit of soy if it's in something that's going to taste really good out at a restaurant when I'm there with a friend. That's balance. It's easy to get out of balance, and it's a lot harder to come back towards balance the further out there you are. When we think about someone who has an addiction, they're out of balance. The more addicted they are, the harder it is to bring it back, to be less addicted, right? And that can be alcohol or drugs or food or cigarettes or laziness or even training, because you can be addicted to activity. There are lots of addictions. There are lots of things that take us out of balance. And this is a perspective you can use to look at the world. If you take a step back from your life right now, where are you and aren't you balanced? If parts of your life are really unbalanced, it's impacting the rest of your life. And I bet if you really look at it, you're doing some things to try to counter that. Maybe here's a good one. I've known people who are addicted essentially to spending money. They are shopaholics. It doesn't mean that they aren't buying things that they enjoy or find use in, but they're spending a lot of money because when they're not spending money, they're working a lot. And so the catharsis for them is to spend money. That's out of balance. They could work less and spend less money, come closer to balance. How about people who are addicted to working out, addicted to martial arts or lifting weights or running? They do that because some other aspect of their life feels really intense, and that's their release. Is there a way to adjust the thing that they're trying to balance out so they don't have to do that as much? Because even if you choose to keep running, it takes on a different tone. Something to think about. Balance has value. There's a reason that we equate balance to justice, right? Justice is blind, that scale, holding the balance. There's a reason we value balance. So, good questions, good conversation today. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm gonna go work on this thing, this software right now. And hopefully tomorrow, Friday, we'll have some new features that have no relevance to this show, but we're gonna do them anyway, just so I can get better with the software. I hope you have an utterly fantastic day. If you are quarantined at home, good luck. Find some activity. Oh, it's Thursday. There should be a show out. Is it out? Let's see. My videos. Here we go. Episode 487. Adjusting your mindset to your training, where we talk about some people who default to going really, really hard all the time on every drill, and some people who just go really light all the time, and the need to be able to shift it around depending on the context. So check that out. Should be in your podcast feed. It's on YouTube. Went live 51 minutes ago, and 2 people have already watched it. Woo! All right, I'm getting silly. I'm going to go. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Take care. Peace.